This week on Route 66. Here's your host, Tim Clark.
Well, good morning. Welcome to another episode of This Week on Route 66. You know, I've mentioned before that over the years, I've selected a few restaurants on Route 66 as my personal favorites. Well, a few days ago, I added another one to my list. My wife and I, along with our friends Mike and Karen, visited the Highway Cafe in Vinita, Oklahoma. This is a great restaurant that everyone needs to check out. Now, joining us on the phone is the owner, Beth. Thanks for joining us today, Beth.
You're welcome.
So, in a few minutes, we're going to talk about the upcoming Will Rogers Rodeo. But first, tell us about your unique features of your location, inside and out.
Well, it's 2 miles west of Vinita on the north side of the highway. And when you're driving along, you'll come across the Highway Cafe. I think the first thing people notice is our iconic neon sign that we restored a couple of years ago. Alongside of those, we have a Betty Boop, we have a Kip's Big Boy, and we also have 2 large fiberglass giants that are in our parking lot. One of them we lovingly call Big Bill. He's a 21-foot muffler man that we purchased after Mobil One completed their trek of him up Route 66 with their Keep Route 66 ticking campaign. And the second giant is a 23-foot fiberglass American Indian that we purchased that had stood along the Mohawk Trail right outside of Charlemont, Massachusetts. So we purchased him and we moved him back down and placed him on Route 66 so he will have a new set of fan club members.
Okay, so tell us now, you actually have a car inside your restaurant. You don't see that every day. Tell us about that.
With the Mobil One promotion, we were one of the places that attempted a Guinness Book of World Record. We selected to do the most stickers on a car. So we took a 1963 AMC Rambler and placed 60,066 individual little half-inch stickers that are all numbered and unique, and we place those over just the body of the car, and it makes a really cool, like, mosaic piece, and it highlights a lot of the stops along Route 66 with this mural that's on the car. In addition to that, we purchased, after we broke the world record, we also purchased another 1963 AMC Rambler that sits on the outside of the building. And that's the car that we allow people to stop and sticker the car 24/7, take selfies, and kind of enjoy our stop along Route 66.
You know, when we were there a few days ago, my wife and I and our friends went up and looked at the car inside with all the stickers. And I didn't really notice the individual pieces until I got really close, and I was just amazed. You know, it looks like a jigsaw puzzle, and it's just so precise. I don't know how anybody could have actually placed them with so much precision. But anyway, it's just amazing. Everybody needs to take a look at this when they visit your restaurant. And we're going to talk more about what's going on in Vinita, Oklahoma. But right now, Nick, can you tell our viewers how they can participate in future episodes of This Week on Route 66?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Do you have an announcement, a news item, or a product promotion that you'd like to share with the Route 66 community? There are 3 different options for you to share your information. Option 1, call into our studio hotline anytime, any day, and record your voice message. Or Option 2, call in for a voice conversation with a host. Or Option 3, schedule an online video interview. It's free and a fun way to get your information out to the Route 66 community. See our Facebook page for more information. And now back to Tim for more This Week on Route 66.
Thanks, Nick. So, Beth, tell us about the upcoming rodeo that's going to be occurring in Vinita.
Well, we have our 87th Will Rogers Memorial Rodeo coming up August the 5th through the 10th. And there are nightly events every single night, different different things that people can participate in and do and see. I like to highlight Wednesday at 11 a.m. We do have our downtown parade where we block off our main street. We have a huge parade this year. The theme of the parade is "Should Have Been a Cowboy," and it's always interesting to see what different individuals, businesses, and organizations, what they come up with as their themed either float or entry in the parade, and to see who those winners are for the parade. So it's pretty cool. There's lots of kids on bikes, people on horses. Some different organizations will be walking through, and most of them throw candy to the kids that are watching. And it's just a super fun, typical hometown, small town type rodeo parade. It's really fun to see people line the streets and everybody come out and watch it.
You know, when you told me the theme should have been a cowboy, of course, the first thing that entered my mind was the country song "Should Have Been a Cowboy." I don't know if it was from like the 80s or 90s, but I can't remember who sang it, but it was a really cool song. And have you ever thought about that? You know, the song "Should Have Been a Cowboy"?
I did initially when I first heard that announced. That was exactly, I think it was my husband that broke into song as soon as he heard the theme. Mm-hmm. So it definitely was a popular song, and that's what I'm kind of curious to see what people come up with that will tie in and go along with that mm-hmm. theme. That night, Wednesday night is kids' night at the rodeo. So it's, it kind of gets kids excited about going to the rodeo that night. All kids get in for free. Thursday night is Cherokee Nation night, where everyone with a CDIB card can get in for free. Friday night is Fan Appreciation Night, which is a night that they give away prizes throughout the night at the rodeo. And then Saturday night is our Patriot Night, where they give free admission and they honor veterans, current military, or people with a military ID. So, there's something for everyone. It makes it affordable for families to be able to come out, especially on kid night, and bring the crew and be able to watch a professional rodeo, which I don't know if you've ever seen one in person, but there is a huge difference between watching it on television and actually being in the arena and watching it live. The last event of the night, every night, is the bull riding. And this year's barrel man and funny man is Jason Dent. Not only is he super funny during that event, but just to watch him work with the bulls and, put himself between the bull rider and any danger is, to me, just it really keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Now, how is Will Rogers associated with the rodeo?
Well, there's a lot of history there, but Will Rogers was born in 1879 at a place that's not far from Vinita. And tragically, in 1890, when he was about 11 years old, his mother passed away, and he was sent kind of to different schools or ranches in the area. And then he finally ended up coming to the Willie Hossel College that was located here in Vinita. He attended from 1892 until 1895. And later in his life, he made comments saying that was the best years of his life, that when he was the most happy, he made a lot of friends. And so one year he was attending the school reunion, and he told the Vinita people that had gathered that have a rodeo here next year and I'll come back. And so he did return in the fall for like the parade, and he participated in that. I believe it was 1935. But tragically, just days before the rodeo was set to begin, he actually was tragically killed in a plane crash. So he never made it back to the rodeo. The rodeo committee did go ahead and they renamed the rodeo. So now it is known as the Will Rogers Memorial Rodeo, and it's continued to this day.
Well, that's terrific. I think that's great. Now, I've also heard that you're going to have a special meal or something different on your menu during the rodeo. Can you explain that?
Yes, we actually, during the week of the rodeo, we are going to run our very popular Route 66 burger, which is a bacon cheeseburger with grilled onions and mushrooms, and it's got all the vegetable fixings on the side. Along with that, we're going to pair it with our homemade onion rings and homemade ranch. So during the week of the rodeo, we will run that meal at any time for $9.99.
You mentioned onion rings. When we were at your restaurant a few days ago, your onion rings are fabulous. They're the best onion rings I guess I've ever had. So everybody
Well,
needs.
you'll have to come over during the rodeo week and have another round.
There you go. Absolutely. Now, I know you get a lot of international travelers at your restaurant. They're traveling Route 66 or the Jefferson Highway. I would think that an authentic rodeo would be a big hit with international travelers.
Oh, it definitely is. Every year, my family attends the rodeo, and usually every year we sit by someone that we kind of recognize that's not, not a local, not someone that we typically see in town. And usually we try to talk to them, find out where they're from. This is typical Americana that they just don't get exposure to. And I think it's a great way to kind of introduce them to Oklahoma, the Wild West, and kind of rural lifestyle, appreciating the animals, but also appreciating the athletes that work with these animals all the time. Just this week, we've had people from Belgium and Switzerland. Let's see, we had Canada. We've had Portugal, Spain. I mean, people from all over the world are traveling right here in front of the cafe in Northeast Oklahoma, and we just would like to invite them out to our local rodeo and let them experience, what a good old-fashioned rodeo is meant to be.
Tell us the dates one more time, and also maybe a Facebook page or a website, how they can get more information.
Sure. Well, the website is where you can actually buy your tickets in advance if you would like, and it's at Will Rogers Memorial Rodeo.com. And in addition to that, they do have a Facebook page where they post little teasers. They do give you information about, you can watch mutton busting. We have different vendors that are set up and different things that you'll be able to experience while you're there. It actually starts August the 5th. We will have steer roping that night. That's all that will be going on is steer roping, but it's for $5 as the entry. And they will have a chuck wagon hamburger dinner that night. You can just sit and watch steer roping. August the 6th is slack night. And then the 7th is actually when the parade starts and each night of the rodeo will happen. So the rodeo starts at 7:30 every night. And like I said, you can purchase your tickets right online.
Great. Well, thank you, Beth, for joining us today. Really appreciate you taking the time to visit with me and our viewers.
You're welcome. And I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to talk about Vinita, the Highway Cafe, and of course, the Will Rogers Memorial Rodeo.
Great. So the next time you're traveling Route 66 or the Jefferson Highway through Northeast Oklahoma, be sure to stop at the Highway Cafe just outside Vinita, Oklahoma.
Thank you for watching This Week on Route 66. Feel free to share this video link with your friends and family, and be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, keep getting your kicks on Route 66.